Hi there, we're here at Howdy Honda to find out more about leasing with TJ Nissen.
Hey Tina, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you today?
All right, so what do you want to know?
So I see a lot of commercials advertising leasing. Why would somebody choose to lease a vehicle?
One of the reasons you hear a lot of commercials out there for leasing is because they want to advertise a low payment, which is great. And some people think that's the biggest advantage, is just to get a low payment on a car. But there's actually a lot of advantages to leasing a vehicle over purchasing it, depending upon your lifestyle and how you use a vehicle.
What would you say some of those advantages are?
Okay, so for example, I'm sure that you're familiar with Carfax and and other sources that people can get histories on cars. And that's any car. So if you're purchasing your vehicle, if you buy it or if you're paying for it over time and it's involved in an accident or anything that would damage the car that needs to be repaired, you basically have diminished value on your car. Someone's not going to pay as much for a car that's been damaged and repaired. Well, if you're leasing a vehicle, it has a guaranteed future value, which you can buy it at the end, but better, you can trade it in or you can turn it in. And by turning it in, Honda's one that takes the potential hit for diminished value versus the consumer taking the hit. You've got a safety net underneath you. And so you can pick which option you want, whichever one turns out to be best for you. And you don't have to worry about whatever previous damage may have occurred on your car.
So TJ, what are some of the options I have when my lease expires?
Assuming that you make it to the end of your lease without us calling you and saying, hey, this is a great time to lease, keep your payment the same and get a new car, you can purchase the vehicle, either finance it or pay cash for it, however you want to buy it. There's a guaranteed value there. You can trade the vehicle in on any type of car, hopefully it's another Honda, or you can turn the vehicle back in. Kind of like we talked about earlier, the vehicle has diminished value, you want Honda to take the hit. You don't have to take it because you have a guaranteed value. You can turn it back in and you can simply go out and release or buy hopefully a new Honda, but again, any vehicle that you want to buy.
So how would I know when the best time to trade my car in would be?
It's a great question. It used to be that we didn't know the best time for people to trade in their leases because it was just went out to 3 years. But now we have these computer programs that we use that keep up with your equity, keep up with your miles, and it'll let us know when you can trade out of that vehicle into another lease on, say, a 1 or 2 or 3 year newer model and keep your payment the same. Sometimes that's 2 years in, sometimes 2.5 years in, sometimes you do have to wait till the end to lease a vehicle, but at least you have an end date, but we try to get you in with the incentives from Honda whenever we can. We have some people that trade every couple of years.
What is the most important thing to consider before I lease a car?
Okay, that's a great question because what you need to consider is your lifestyle. And by that I mean basically the number of miles per year that you drive a vehicle. Okay, you need to know, do you drive 12,000 miles a year, 15,000 miles a year, 20,000 miles a year, 25,000 miles a year. You can lease at any of those mileage points, but what you don't want to do is do a 12,000 mile a year lease, even though it's the lowest payment, if you're actually going to drive 20 or 25,000 miles a year. So before you go into leasing and say, oh, that's great, that's a super low payment, you need to understand your driving habits. You want to match your driving habits to the lease that you get. The other thing to consider is the fact that if you lease a vehicle, you are going to have to get a new one every 3 years unless you buy the one that you're in. If you're somebody that likes to buy a car and drive it till the wheels fall off and you're happy paying for new tires and brakes and overtime and other maintenance that come up, then leasing may not be best for you. But if you like to get a new car every 3 years and let's say get 3 cars in 10 years versus 1 car in 10 years, then consider leasing.
Thank you so much for your time today. I feel like I understand leasing much more than I did before.
Sure, not a problem. I think leasing is something that everyone should consider. I think it fits into most people's lifestyle and I think it's a great way to get a new car.
Thank you. Be sure to check out Howdy Honda's blog and our YouTube channel for more useful information about leasing or purchasing a vehicle.